Well, my sweets. Who'll volunteer to guard the treasure for me? How about it, George Jellyby, my boy? It'll be a new tour of duty for you.
Aye, sir. Captain, sir. I'll guard the treasure.
Petey, show young Jellyby here how to guard the treasure. Guard it well, my bucko. Don't let no land-loving thief make off with what's mine. Ours. Blinky, draw up the map. X marks the spot. And then we'll read the benediction.
Ma, we're going to read the benediction now. George Jellyby stands guard over kids' treasure. Lost his head for kids' pleasure. He were poor, but honest.
Stand by for the Egyptian benediction, lads.
The Egyptian benediction, Captain? But we've only got one guardian, sir, and we need more than that for...
Shut your gob and read it! Get on with it, you wormy chitin!
By the power of the Sphinx, we hereby decree the treasure's guardian is George Jellyby. To volunteer was poor Jellyby's lot. His head rests here where X marks the spot. Ra, necro decree, Amino Fet, Xerxes, Nefertiti.
Five guardians is better than one. And gold is thicker than friendship.
George's Island. How did George's Island get its name? What is this, George Waters?
It's a map of George's Island. Well, since there's a treasure there, a true map showing the pirates, pirate ship, and the spot where they buried the treasure.
What else can you tell us about George's Island?
Well, George's Island was named after George Jellyby, a sailor that Captain Kidd killed to guard the treasure that he buried there in the pirate days.
Germs away?
Every day. And my grandfather says that when you're digging up a dead pirate's treasure, you can't speak one word, or else the dead pirate's ghost will come back to life.
That is a very interesting little tidbit of information, but it is completely wrong. Utterly, completely, and totally wrong, wrong, wrong. Did you read the text?
No, Miss Berger, but...
Once again, you have picked up spurious information from an uninformed source and paid no attention to your homework. That means that you are no longer a vulture, but are now a Dodo category student. Take care lest you remain a Dodo category person throughout your life, George Waters. Let's try an eagle. Bonnie, would you please tell the class how George's Island got its name?
George's Island, originally known as Boskin Island, got its name from a fort on the island named Fort George after King George III, reigning monarch of England and its colony Nova Scotia at the time of the fort's construction in 1762.
Very good, Bonnie. Bonnie knows that history is the study of facts, not fairy stories.
My grandfather told me that story, and it's true.
Don't you talk back to me, young man, especially in that tone of voice. You'll remain out of the class today.
No goat scallywags! Martinez! Get it! Your guts for garters.
God-damned unreliable little sea urchin.
Birdwood. She made me stay after class.
Birdwood, Birdwood, Birdwood. I'm tired of that woman's interfering ways.
Why don't we live in a normal house, Grandpa?
Trying to say you don't like it here?
No.
Yes, you are. If you mean something, then out with it and say what you mean.
What you said about George's Island wasn't true.
Oh, I'm a liar now, am I?
But Miss Birdwood, she said...
Birdwood! George, first you criticize my home, and then you quote the name of Birdwood on a matter of historical fact. Maybe you're tired of sailing with me. If that's what you want, then be gone. Go live in some fancy subdivision with a pool and 2 pianos and a dishwasher and little rat-sized dogs. It'd make my life a whole lot easier, and that's for damn sure.
The reason why my mother probably died was because you were so mean to her.
Right, and God himself is punishing me for driving your mother to an early grave by sticking me with a job of nursemaid to her spoiled child.
All right, I'd like to see my 2 nice straight lines right now. Ochre straight.
Why do you only have a grandfather and no parents?
What do you care?
Sorry, I just asked. My parents are in Italy. They're rich. My mom's an ambassador.
Big deal. Quit bragging.
It isn't bragging if it's the truth. You're just jealous because you're poor.
My grandfather's been in Italy. He's been all over the world.
He drinks too much and tells stories.
Who says?
Everybody.
You're a liar, and anyways, I don't care.
Do so.
Do not. At least I'm not a teacher's pet like you.
Dodo.
Suck up.
Nerd.
Albatross.
I'd like to speak to you at recess, Bonnie.
Yes, Miss Birdwood.
You may proceed. Quickly, quietly. Not a word. You like George Waters, don't you, Bonnie?
No, Miss Birdwood.
Now, Bonnie, did you know that George Waters likes you?
He does?
Yes, yes, he does. And did you know that George might need your help?
Why, Miss Birdwood?
Why do you think a bright boy like George is in the Dodo group?
I don't know, Miss Birdwood.
Well, there's only one reason, and that's trouble at home. Now, I'd like to help George. Wouldn't you like to help him, too?
I guess so, Miss Birdwood.
Of course you would, Bonnie. That's the kind of girl you are.
George, our maid won't be home till later. Could I go home with you? To your house?
Well, why don't you go with one of the girls?
They think I'm a teacher's pet, too. Can't I go with you?
Well, I don't know.
Please, I won't bother you.
Just don't brag the whole time and walk behind me so that nobody will see you with me.
You live over here?
Well, yeah.
George, you see those hooligans out there? Who's this? She looks as if she might be one of them.
They're not there. This is Bonnie.
Bonnie? A bonny lass with a bony ass, huh?
Beg your pardon?
George, get a chocolate milk for you and the lass, yeah? And don't forget my grog. Now, let's see what we have here. There. Isn't that pretty? You a schoolmate of George's?
I'm in his class, if that's what you mean to ask.
You're also taught by that Birdwood woman.
You mean Miss Chloe Birdwood, our homeroom teacher?
You have to repeat everything, say, lass. She's got a hold of your brain, too. Thank you, now. Yeah, chocolate milk. Happy days.
You want to see my secret pet?
Sure. Can I have some more chocolate milk first?
Okay. Ready?
That's gross.
We're gonna get him on Halloween. And he won't even know it.
Too much noise. Somebody was making too much noise, and I did not hear the pin drop. I did not hear the pin. Someone must have moved. Very good. You may proceed.
There was a stuffed owl and a huge spider, and he let us drink chocolate milk. And I think there was a shrunken head.
No, Bonnie. I'm not interested in things. I'm looking for trouble. Trouble at home. And did you happen to notice whether George's grandfather was, drinking?
Yes, I think so.
What was he drinking?
Grog. He called it grog.
Grog. G-R-O-G. Not exactly chocolate milk.
And he was shooting a cannon at some boys.
Yes. My name is Birdwood, Miss Cloaca Birdwood. I'm here to see Mr. Droonfield. Do you have an appointment? No, but it's very important. One of my students has trouble at home. Trouble? That's right.
Rodan approaching me. Rodan approaching me. Droonfield avoidance. Droonfield avoidance. Location of top secret turtle behind Great China Wall. F-14. Target lock on Rodan. Rodan approaching quickly. Turtle in distress. Turtle in distress.
Mr. Droonfield?
Yes?
There's a Miss, Birdwood at the door to see you.
Birdwood?
Should I?
Oh, well, give me a second to finish up and send her in. Miss Birdwood. Yes. It's so nice to see you again.
Pleasure's mine, Mr. Droonfield.
Yes. Well, sit down. Sit down. Well, it must be very important.
It is. It's very important. One of my students has trouble at home. Now, I know you're a very busy man, Mr. Droonfield.
Yes.
So, I'm volunteering to help.
Oh, just the thing. Well, show me what you've got. Ooh. Well, we've got very serious trouble, Miss Birdwood.
Did I ever tell you about the time I fell off the ship in the North Sea?
No, I have to do my homework. Miss Birdwood says that history and science are the study of facts.
The facts, huh?
Not fish stories or ghost stories. I'm too old for that.
Well, there's the facts, and then there's the facts. For instance, sometimes stories I tell you might be a wee bit exaggerated, and I've always given you the facts when it comes to ghosts. Because if I were to give you the real facts about ghosts, you wouldn't be able to sleep for months. There's no doubt that you're still a wee bit young for all that, you know.
I don't think so.
How old are you?
10.
Oh, that's too young.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. The story I'm thinking of would scare the wits out of you. Scared the wits out of me when I was older than 10.
Please tell me. I won't be too scared. I swear.
It's a serious ghost story about serious and dangerous ghosts. Not like them that knock about the house. I tell you to get them some sugar because they miss the taste of sweets. Or come and ask you to shut the lid in the coffin properly. No, these are murderous spirits who are hanging on to treasure and suffer no man to take it from them. They were murderers in life and they're murderers even in death.
Please tell me. Please. Please.
Ain't so quiet as it looks out there. Here's the bare facts. Judge for yourself what it means. I weren't much older than you when I shipped out on the Leander as a cabin boy. One of the last of the commercial schooners. We had a long voyage, and during the long voyage we had an outbreak of fever. We were quarantined right off George's Island when we finally got back to Halifax Harbor. We were right unhappy about not being allowed ashore since it happened to be Halloween and we would miss all the parties and carrying on. As the voyage had lasted almost a year, we was getting anxious to see our folks, and they were getting anxious to see us. They waved to us from the dockside, and we would look through the telescope at them, you know. And finally, after all the men, his wives and children has a look, it's my turn to take a peek. Now, I was only 14 and on the bottom rung of the totem poles, you might say. And I looked to the docks to see my mother. That's your great-grandmother. And I waves to her and she waves back. And finally, after a lot of waves, because there's only so much waving you can do, I scan the horizon to see what things look like and if anything's changed since I've been away. And when I trained my eye on George's Island, for it was uninhabited then as it is now, seen a strange sight. Handed telescope to my mate Roddy, the cook's assistant. He was older than me, but a wee bit simple. I'd often heard about the man in the red coat with the red fez. He was supposed to lead you to Captain Kidd's treasure. And as Roddy and I had more than a passing interest in pirate gold, we kept our secret quiet and slipped away later that night to see what we could find.
I don't feel good, Archie. Let's go back. Dying Jesus. All's well. All's well. All's well.
Where's everybody else?
They volunteered to stand guard over the treasure. Good men that they were. Are.
Something's foul.
It's you scurvy piece of flotsam.
Where's my brother Petey?
Petey had a little accident. He fell into a hole. But I covered him up good.
Killed him.
What of it? He tried to steal me gold.
A lie!
Where's our share? We fought for it and killed for it, and we're not sailing on without it. We don't sail without our share. Put down, or I'll kill the lot of you, and then there'll be no share. Well, that's fine by me, Captain Kidd.
Sail aboard! They mean us.
Prepare to
Upon Roddy O'Brien's watery grave. Get the key. Unlock the sea chest. Right, now lift the lid.
Wow. Is this really Captain Kidd's?
Used to be his, now it's yours.
Wow. I'm gonna have the coolest Halloween costume ever. But didn't you want to go back to George's Island and find Captain Kidd's treasure?
Oh, sure, Georgie, but you can't get the treasure unless the man in the red suit leads you to it, and I don't recall having the pleasure, good or bad, of running into him since. Now, get me some grog, will you? I'm thirsty. Questions all the time.
That's where they live.
Oh, my.
And he's an invalid, confined to a wheelchair.
Oh, my. Miss Birdwood?
Yes, Mr. Droonfield?
Very community-minded of you to give up your Saturday like this.
Think nothing of it, Mr. Droonfield. Teaching is a sacred trust, and I learned to accept that trust long ago when I first entered the profession. Hello? Hello?
I'll get it.
May we come in?
Miss Birdwood?
No, you may not come in.
George, this is Mr. Droonfield from Children's Services, and I am Cloaca Birdwood.
George, the shotgun. That's an order, the shotgun.
I don't think we should tarry, Miss Birdwood.
That's a good idea, unless you want your fat ass fried and salted.
You haven't heard the last of us.
I heard enough to last me forever, you demented hen.
Have you seen enough, Mr. Droonfield?
More than enough, Miss Birdwood. More than enough, Miss Birdwood.
You shot my teacher.
No, I didn't. They're just blanks.
How can I go back to school?
With your head held high for once is how.
Is there a legal guardian?
No. There doesn't seem to be any record of the father, and the mother is deceased. The grandfather, Mr. Archibald Waters, has been caring for the child for the last few years.
I see that the grandfather's an invalid.
Yes, confined to a wheelchair.
Yes, with a very small pension, which can hardly support himself, let alone the boy.
And they live in a disgusting little hovel, completely lacking in proper sanitary facilities.
One that might fall into the ocean at any moment, I might add.
You say he fired shots at you?
Yes, the man's a lunatic.
That's hard to prove.
We have got to do something, Your Honor. The poor boy needs a proper home.
Oh, yes. One more thing. The man drinks. At home, that is.
So do I. The pension is very small.
Oh, yes. No one could live on that amount. No one.
The poor boy needs a good environment. I can only imagine, Your Honor, what he has to go through every day just to do his personal business. Germs away?
Every day.
Miss Birdwood?
Yes.
Follow me.
Are you George Waters?
Yes.
We have a court order here. We'd like you to come along with us.
When?
Now.
Can I phone my grandfather?
I'm afraid not, son.
Well, come along, George. Get your belongings. Stop that chirping.
This is your new home, and these are your foster parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bean.
Welcome to 153 Snodgrove. Come in.
I want to go home, please.
Listen, you can't always get what you want when you want it. And perhaps, maybe even you will be with your grandfather, perhaps even soon. But in the meantime, while we conduct the investigation...
What?
While we conduct the investigation, Mr. and Mrs. Bean are being paid to look after you.
What's the investigation about?
What's the investigation about?
Yeah.
Well, you do want to be with your grandfather, don't you?
Yeah?
Then if that's what you want, then you be a good boy and do exactly what Mr. and Mrs. Bean tell you to do, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Glass of wine?
Oh, no. Duty calls. I must away. Goodbye, George.
Bye.
It's a good job you're used to living in a cabin because there's not a lot of heat down here.
Why is there so much grog here?
Grog? Fine wine, not grog. Roger Beans makes the best wine in this province. It's got to be kept down here where it's cool, so it ages better.
What's in here?
What's in there is the other Foster #1, no concern of yours. We use numbers down here, and then we don't have to remember the names. They come and go, you know. Plain but clean. If you get bored, you can read the Bible. If that doesn't suit you, you can clean some wine bottles. And don't mention our new security gate to Droonfield. He thinks we spend too much money on you Fosters as it is. How many times have you run away?
Never.
That's funny. I got an eye for runners, and you look like one to me. Say goodnight, #2. Trouble.
Hello? Hello? Foster #1?
But I repeat, Captain Waters, the court has ordered you not to come within 1/4 mile of George. If you are caught trying to see him, you'll face the full consequences of the law.
Kidnapping! That's what it is! I don't care about any court order! He's mine, and he's meant to be with me! To hell with a lot of you!
He hung up on me.
Well, I'm not surprised. They often take it quite badly. Wherever emotions rule, you'll find trouble, Miss Birdwood.
How very true, Mr. Droonfield. Oh. Allow me, Mr. Droonfield. Would you care for a seat?
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Have a seat, Mr. Droonfield. Oh, wait.
That's why I came here, to be here when he called. They often call the teacher.
It was very kind of you, Mr. Droonfield.
Oh, that's nothing at all. It's just part of the job. Miss Birdwood?
Yes.
I have to know now. I mean, you have to go now. I've got a lot of work to do.
Of course, Mr. Droonfield.
Well, good night, Miss Birdwood.
Good night, Mr. Droonfield. And
Yes?
thank you so much for coming over.
Oh, yes.
minutes. 17 minutes to get washed, dressed, and eat before Mr. Droonfield comes to get you off to school.
What's the matter? You never had cream of wheat before? It's good for you. It's cheap, too. And if you don't like the little lumps, just put them on my plate. It's my favorite part.
Where's Foster number 1?
Foster number 1 minds her own business, and we expect you to do the same.
Too slow. Maybe you'll like it a little better tomorrow. Lunch. Well, come on, Mr. Droonfield. Mr. Droonfield doesn't have all day.
Good morning, all.
Good morning, Mr.
I trust you
Droonfield.
breakfast.
Runes? Celery.
Georgie, it's good to see you.
I've been waiting forever for you to come. Why won't they let us see each other? Was it because you were in the war?
No, Georgie, it's not because of the war. It's because they say that boys like you needs 2 parents, not just one. And boys like you needs decent clothes and toys and good food and plumbing. You understand, huh?
Yeah, but they only give me parsnips and plain yogurt and slimy stuff. Can I go home after school with you?
There was a court order preventing you from seeing this boy, and this escapade certainly isn't going to further your case.
Don't threaten me, you irritating carbuncle of a woman!
How dare you call me a carbuncle? And the next time I see you around here, I'm going to call the police and have you arrested. Understand?
Carbuncle!
Oh, let me go!
You talk back to me, young man.
My
Oh, you wouldn't if you knew it was good for you, George.
Let me go!
Nothing but trouble, George Waters. And the only way to deal with trouble is severely.
time for school. And I see you learned to like your cream of wheat a little better this morning. Oh, they all come round eventually. You ain't no different. Where do you think you're going? You are in grade school for shut-ins as of now. They say that for the worst troublemakers. Lunch at 12, recess at 2:30.
Hello? My name is Miss Birdwood, and I ask you to join me in the exciting journey of learning. Pencils and papers ready? Good. Because we are going to begin with the test.
Yes?
Mr. Dunfield?
Yes?
Mr. Waters has arrived. Should I send him in?
Well, yes, of course, Miss Plifter.
Mr. Waters, you can go in now.
It's nice to see you, Mr. Waters.
Grandpa!
Georgie!
Excuse me. But it is necessary for you to be at least 1.5 meters apart at all times. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Well, good news, George. We're not going to have to send you away. 2 days ago, we were going to send you to new foster parents in another part of the country, but we decided not to do that since your grandfather has very wisely agreed to cooperate in the adoption process. Your grandfather agreed that it would be better for all concerned if you were to be adopted by proper parents and raised in a real home.
That's not true, Grandpa.
George, I thought it would be the best thing for you.
Grandpa! I hate you! 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 Let me go!
No, I won't let you go. No, you're acting like a little hooligan now, and I'm going to take you out of here because you're not a...
Go!
Wake up the beans?
How did you get in here?
I live here, in the room next door. I'm foster number 1. I lied to you about my parents being in Italy. Just don't make a big deal about it, okay?
I don't have any parents either.
What about your grandfather?
I hate my grandfather. I wish he were dead.
You wouldn't say that if you thought it could come true.
No. My grandfather's giving me up for adoption.
Really?
Yes. And I hate the beans.
Why hate the beans?
Did you put the candy bar on my bed?
I ate half of it. It looks so good. The beans are always trying to save money on food.
Do you want this one?
Don't you want it?
No, my grandfather gave it to me. Here.
Thanks.
Rotten little brats.
Didn't I tell you there'd be trouble? Number 1, go to your room. Number 2, get to bed. Mr. Bean, take away his Bible, his cleaning brushes, and his wine bottle. There'll be no breakfast tomorrow for either of you. And believe me, we'd cancel your Halloween privileges if it wasn't too late. Here.
Your special babysitter.
Come on in, Mr. Drumfield. Come on in.
Yes, good evening.
Welcome to 153 Snudgrove.
Hey, terrific costume.
Good news, George. Your grandfather has agreed to sign the adoption release papers tomorrow. It won't be much longer before you have a nice new family with good, steady parents who will love you almost as much as if you were their own.
Come along, George, Bonnie. Let's be off.
Bye.
Good evening.
Rats.
They're still watching us. I know. Let's get ahead of them.
Disgusting.
Horrible. But that's taking Halloween a bit too far. That person is sick.
Oh, yes, I agree. What kind of name is Cloaca, anyway?
Oh, it's Roman.
As in Roman goddess?
It's an engineering term, actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
Are they looking? No.
This way.
Where'd those two get off to?
Oh, my.
Number one and number two, they're running away.
Where do you think you're going, young lady?
George in the bar. Bonnie, my love.
Why, it's that foul rolling sea captain. Oh, stop! Stop, kidnapper!
Look out for that Birdwood and that fat fool. Are they following us? Out of the way, you twisters.
drill.
Hurry up, Mr. Broomfield.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
I thought you were dumping me.
Dumping my own Georgie Bilgewater. It's true I haven't been much of a parent, but that doesn't mean I'm going to abandon the most important person in the world to me, eh? I had to let Children's Services think that, or they'd have taken me away. Come on now.
Where are we headed?
To the open sea, lass. There's an old lighthouse where we can bivouac for the night.
This is kidnapping!
You will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
You children! We need a boat, quickly.
Got any money?
We're taking on water.
Rapscallions! Quick there! Look lively and start moving!
You know, that was my own personal money that I used to pay for the boat. And those boys didn't give me a receipt, and I'll never be reimbursed for it.
Well, it was fortunate that you had the money, Mr. Broomfield. And $203 is a small price to pay to save those children from the clutches of that man.
I thought you didn't want to go to George's Island tonight.
I'd rather we made Sambro, but as things are, we'd be lucky to make George's Island. Bonnie Milas, can you swim?
Yeah, you can't, Grandpa.
I know, but keep on bailing. Maybe we'll get lucky.
We're never gonna make it. What are we gonna do?
Keep on bailing.
Whoa! The lake stopped. Ah, Baker! Baker!
There's somebody under the boat. Look! They've gone to George's Island! What is it?
There's nobody there.
Your eyes can play a lot of tricks on you on All Hallows Eve. Oh, damnation.
Come on, give us a hey.
You can go get the wood, Grandpa.
No, you heave. All right. But if you hears anything or sees anything, even the slightest crack or peep, come straight back. And on no account do you go out of sight of me and the fire. You hear?
Of course, Grandpa.
Now, careful.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
No. They don't exist.
My grandfather's seen a ghost. Here on George's Island.
Yeah, sure.
He's got proof.
What?
The pirate hat. He got it from the ghost.
Let's go back to the fire.
Okay.
Look!
Wow!
Where do you think this came from?
Look! George Jellyby stands guard over Kid's treasure, lost his head for Kid's pleasure. He were poor but honest. WTJ, 31st October, 1733 witness. 1733?
Weird. October 31st. Halloween. Tonight.
You know that ghost my grandfather saw? Well, it was Captain Kidd.
Did you hear something?
No.
Now, I'm sure I heard something.
Oh, my.
Do you want to know where the treasure's buried? Do you want to know where the treasure's buried?
I have to ask permission.
Do you want to know where the treasure's buried? Or not?
Okay.
Then you're no different than the rest.
He's a ghost. Once we start digging, no matter what happens, don't speak one word, or else the guardian of the treasure will come back to life and chop our heads off.
You know, I thought they cut down all the trees in this island when they built the first fort in 1762.
Well, obviously they've missed a few. I think that justice would be much better served if we just turned this whole matter over to the police. I say we should leave immediately, Miss Birdwood.
In what, Mr. Droonfield? Our boat just flew away.
Yes, I know. What's
That noise.
What noise?
I can't tell, but they're near here. I just know it.
I didn't hear anything.
My hearing is excellent, Mr. Droonfield, and it always has been.
Well, even so, I still didn't hear anything. Now, just a darn minute.
What's that, Mr. Droonfield?
Well, someone has been digging here.
What in the world is going on? They're talking. I wonder whose skull that is. Now, I know the history of George's Island, Mr. Droonfield, and it was never inhabited.
Oh.
You wonders who I am, does you? I be George Jellyby by name. I guards the treasure. You just woke me up to kill you.
Your Excellency. We really wouldn't want to cause any trouble.
No.
Why, madam, if there's one thing we pirates love...
Yes?
It's trouble.
Oh!
Why, we thrives on it. Don't we, mateys? We've been waiting a long, long time. What do you say, boys? What's your pleasure?
I ain't laid eyes on a woman in 2.5 centuries.
Oh.
And this one's my purty, ain't she?
She's beautiful.
For God's sake, let her alone! Take me instead!
Mr. Droonfield.
I'm sorry, Miss Birdwood, but I love you. And I don't care who knows it.
Mr. Droonfield,
Yes?
I only reported the boy as an excuse to be near you.
You mean...
Yes.
And I only went along with the plan to be near you.
Oh, Maynard.
Cloaca.
Akka?
Oh, Romeo.
Oh, Juliet.
Captain Waters? Where's Grandpa? I don't know. I'm scared.
Oh, sure. Big bullies. Scaring innocent people. But what is it that you want?
Yes.
We want,
Well,
we want to dance.
We want to dance!
Oh.
want to dance. Perhaps I don't know how to dance.
Well, maybe I'll teach. Keep dancing, lady.
Grandpa?
Let's spin the saber!
Cloaca in distress?
Give her a real one, Jelly Bean.
Oh, no. One's enough. Uh-oh.
My turn.
Oh, no. Maynard!
Be strong, Cloaca.
Captain Kidd!
Release them!
Why, Captain Kidd, sir, we were just having a bit of fun.
They never laid a finger on the treasure. We made sure of that.
Let him go, you hen-hearted numbskulls!
Let him go.
You heard me!
Let him go. Let him go.
And where are the two children?
The two children?
Here!
Obliged to you for looking after me half. Now, kill them.
Oh, now that seems a bit hasty. We haven't even been introduced. My name is Miss Cloaca Birdwood, and this is Mr. Droonfield.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship.
Kill them.
Kill him? How?
Use your swords and lop their ugly heads off.
Oh.
No!
Would anybody like some grog?
Good idea, George. Well done.
I got the remote! I got the remote!
Plaguey rats. Captain is first. Now I'm starting to feel like a pirate again.
Here's some more.
All right, fine. No, the captain wants some more.
It's been 2.5 centuries. Methinks I might have gone a little easier.
Where's ours?
Ain't none left, Petey, you half-wit. Finish the job.
Let's get on with it. Let Petey do it. He likes to kill.
Gentlemen, Captain Kidd has hornswoggled all of you. Doesn't the Pirates' Code ensure that every man receives a fair share, and that includes grog? But Captain Kidd doesn't follow the Pirates' Code, and he hasn't given you a drop of grog at all, has he?
I never wanted to guard the treasure, just to see the world. Why should we kill them just because Kidd tells us to?
You're right, Jellyby.
Why not let Captain Kidd guard it?
You shut up, you troublesome sea lawyer.
Shut up yourself, you overdressed hog.
We can't do that because we said the Egyptian benediction over the grave.
Egyptian benediction.
Yes, we're duty-bound by the Pirates' Code of Ethics. Besides, Kidd would kill us if we don't do what he says.
Aren't you guys already dead?
I don't want to guard the treasure.
Me neither. Me neither. Me neither.
Well, why should we? Yes, you got it. You take the Pirates. You got it yourself.
But we're pirates without a treasure. We have no place to haunt, nothing to guard.
Well, I'm sure there's some lovely lady ghosts out there just dying to meet some wonderful dancers like you.
I know the perfect place. A beautiful princess lives there. The cellar is full to the rafters with grog.
Listen, I have a map of the area. Maybe you could point this place out to me on it. A quill.
Well, the next best thing.
Where would that be?
Right there.
I see it. What would you call it?
153 Snudgrove.
153 Snudgrove. All right, lads. Off we go. Up to the land of Snudgrove. Snudgrove.
Have you completed your investigation, Mr. Dringfield?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
And?
And we find that Captain Waters is a gentleman and a scholar of nautical history and a fine parent to young George. We have also found that Roger and Beulah Bean are not suitable foster parents by any stretch of the imagination. The two of them having character flaws too numerous to mention. And finally, Your Honor, we have found that we have been fools and have wasted the court's time with
all of our personal affairs, which we have finally sorted out. Maynard. In short, we would like to apologize humbly to everyone and hope that you will all give us another chance.
Bonnie Ainsley, Mr. and Mrs. Droomfield have petitioned this court for your adoption. Now, you are free to decide whether to accept their proposal or to reject it.
I accept.
Oh. George Waters, your grandfather has petitioned this court for your adoption. Do you accept or reject his proposal?
Well... Sure.
Sure.
bad bouquet for an onion wine.
Give me my drink.
My favorite parsnip champagne.
Boom.